What's up, everybody? Let me get Morgan on here real quick. Okay. I think I invited her. Add.
There we go. Yay! Hi.
What's up? I'm still sharing the video into the group real quick, just so
Yeah,
we can make
that's
sure
fine.
everybody's on
Yeah,
the
I'm
group.
gonna share it to my page too, so that'll be good.
Okay.
Let's see. So you want everybody to see.
I just don't want people to miss it, you know?
I know. It's so fun to do. And we got some really good interaction last time.
Yes.
So
And that's
okay.
the whole reason we're doing these, so.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna share to my page. Let's see.
Well.
Let's see. It's weird to watch myself on the computer, like looking down at my screen, and I'm seeing myself looking at myself. Okay. I got that shared there.
I keep trying to share in the group, it's not letting me share, so.
It did that last time, but then it like worked, didn't it?
Yeah, because it's in there, so I want to make sure everybody that's on that event page can see it.
Yeah. Okay. Adjust my camera here. Hey guys. Hey Lindsay, Sarah, Rebecca, Linda, Jennifer. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We're just trying to get it shared to all the appropriate places so everyone can join us tonight. Ashton is there. It just looks like she's not, but she's there. I promise. It's not just me with an empty screen next to me. It's just funny. Like, it's Ashton's spirit. She's here. You can't see her, but she's here.
But I'm here. Okay, I think I got it in there now.
Okay, good. Good deal.
We should be good to go. I'm back.
Okay, there you are. Yay! Oh my gosh. How's your day been? It's been good?
Pretty good. Yeah. Pretty good. What about you?
Yeah, it's been pretty good. Just been working on website stuff and just help brush the kids' teeth so we can get them in bed. And so yeah, it's been a good day.
That's good.
Yeah.
It got really cold. I wasn't excited about that.
I
but
know.
okay.
I'm ready for spring. We need spring to be here.
Ditto.
Oh my gosh. Well, yeah. So tonight I got to choose the topic and I was like, crystals. I love crystals. And I will preface this by saying I'm still new to crystals. So like, I'm sure Ashton knows a ton more than me. She's going to say, oh my gosh, don't say that. But it's fun to just talk about things that we enjoy. And crystals are something that I think they're pretty. They do have powers, if you want to call them that. They're used for different things, and I think they're amazing. And I know Ashton uses them in her business, and so yeah. Why don't you start with that and kind of how do you use crystals like in your business?
So for me, there's different things. Obviously, we can use them in a Reiki session if somebody wants the crystals. I literally have tons of crystals to choose from.
You do. I remember you'll put them like on all my points.
Yep,
yeah,
all down your main chakras.
And then I have to like not laugh and have them fall off, but yeah.
And if they fall off, it doesn't matter. You
I
just
know. Yeah, exactly.
So that's one way I use them. Another way, sometimes when Shelby's doing the sound immersions that we have, same thing. Like while people are laying out on the yoga mats and stuff, she'll either bring some of hers or what we have there, and people can use those, or they bring their own. A lot of people bring their own to our sound immersions.
That's true.
So they'll put them on them, or lay them above their head or next to them, or whatever.
Or stuff them in your bra, like I do. I'm like, shove them in there, like, and then I forget, and I take my bra off, and like my crystals like go everywhere. I'm like, oh yeah,
I forgot about that.
I'm like, oops.
Yep. I've had people do that. I've had a couple people do that, and then they forget, and then they fall out and they break. I think
Oh, it's so
you might
sad
have
when
been
they
one of those
break.
people. But
I had one that broke, and it was one of
yeah.
my favorites, and I was so
Now you have two.
sad. Yeah, I think it was like more than 2 pieces, but I was so sad. But it's okay. It was a lesson learned, just like everything, and it's all good.
Yeah. So those are some ways that I use them. When I've traveled to hospitals to do sessions on people, I've always taken crystals with me up to the hospitals, especially if it's like sometimes with clients, a lot of time, anytime I have family members or friends up at the hospital, like I've usually brought a couple crystals with me.
Yeah.
Like when my mom was in the hospital a couple years ago, her appendix burst, right? And they missed it.
Gosh.
They thought she had a lower bowel infection. She went 24 hours with it burst, and she ended up
Oh
getting
my
septic.
gosh.
So she almost died. She had
Oh my
emergency surgery.
God.
So while she was up at the hospital, she was in there for 2 weeks after that. Doesn't remember
Yeah.
anything. If you ask her today, she'll be like, I don't remember that. But
Oh wow.
I would bring in like all my crystals, right? And I would lay them on her. And I have this huge piece of malachite that's like this big green one. And I put it right over where the incision area was. And so when I was doing Reiki, I mean, when I work with crystals, they get really warm when they're working on certain areas. And I don't know if that's like that for everybody or just for me that I've noticed. But when the energy is doing something in that area, those crystals get so warm. So it's really interesting.
I know, like when I do Reiki with you, the ones on my throat always get like really warm, or the ones on my third eye. I'll be like, oh my gosh, that's really hot. And I'm like, I can't tell because it's on me. But they do like heat up. It's a real thing, guys. Like it really does.
And in the business, that's how I use them mostly. And then, we sell them. We sell the crystal kits or the wellness boxes, stuff
and
like
the bracelets. Like I have my bracelet here. I have this one.
So all of these bracelets we sell at Transcend. So that's one that Morgan has.
I have another one here. Yeah, I have this one too.
Collaborated with, that one's the all over chakra for every chakra. So I collaborated with another Reiki master actually that lives in Canada, and we collabed on picking each of the specific stones for each thing. The one that she showed you with the white and the other stones, those are for all the chakras. But we did them a little different. So those are like more muted tones instead of the typical rainbow tones. Yeah. We picked different stones for each of the chakras. So that's what all of those are.
Yeah.
And all of our bracelets have been cleansed and charged and infused with Reiki. So that's different ways that I use them.
Can you tell us more about that? Like, why do you have to cleanse and charge your crystals? Like, what's the deal behind that? For people that don't know, or obviously I'm new to it, I kind of understand, but I always love hearing from you.
So if you think about us as energetic beings, like how, and this isn't just with crystals, this can be, with furniture, right? You might get furniture from somebody else who's had it before. And we leave like energetic imprints, right, on everything we touch, anywhere we've been. Like when we travel places, we leave actually an energetic imprint there.
That's crazy to think about.
Yeah. So like a little piece of you is everywhere you've ever traveled.
Yeah.
Mind blowing.
What? Oh my God. Yeah.
But anyway, so the reason you deal with crystals is because, okay, here's an example. So I use a lot of my personal crystals at Transcend, right? Because I have a huge collection, and I know that something I might have might help a client that needs a specific thing. So if I use it on a client and I don't cleanse it, right, or whatever after I'm done, and then I go to use it, there's a good chance I could be picking up on whatever that person had or got rid of. Like black tourmaline is a good example, right? Because black tourmaline absorbs negative energy.
It's good protective stone.
Yes, good protective, good grounding stone. So I use those a lot. Actually, on each corner of my bed, on the bottom of the legs, I have a huge, like that big piece of black tourmaline on every corner that I cleanse very often because, all the different clients that get on there, it's to help ground them and pull out any negative energy.
But
the reason you want to do that is because if you go do that, right, and then you go to use that black tourmaline and you're not cleansing it, there's a good chance you're going to absorb whatever that crystal is absorbed.
Right. And that's not good. You don't want to be carrying around other people's energy with you because we deal with enough as it is already. Like we're trying to keep out all the things. Yes. Now
as far as charging, that's more like to amplify whatever abilities each of these crystals have already. If that makes sense.
So like people like to use the full moon, for example, is that for charging, cleansing, or both? Is it better one or the other?
Some people use it for both. I just use it for charging.
Okay.
And then I still do my cleansing rituals. So things that you can do, and I've kind of like made notes like we could cover these. So when we're talking about cleansing a crystal, there's so many different ways you can do it. A lot of people, the go-to is using sage, using the smoke of the sage, holding your crystal under over the top of it and letting the smoke rise, and you cleanse the crystal that way. So you do that with sage. You can also do that with Palo Santo wood, same principle. You light the wood, let the flame go out, and then the smoke is what you're clearing the crystal with. You can use sea salt. You can use just intention. So putting it in your hands next to your heart chakra and just asking that this crystal be cleansed of any negative energy or low vibrations. You can do it with Reiki, right? So doing that. Yes, doing the sea salt is a way of doing that. One that I don't recommend that's also something you can do is you can actually bury your crystals in the ground. But I don't recommend that because there's a chance you might forget where you buried them, like a dog burying its bone in.
That would be me. I'd have to have like a little like place for it. But I didn't know you could charge them in the ground. Interesting.
And then the other way is with selenite. So selenite is an automatic cleansing crystal.
I have a little selenite little thing. Yeah. That has the. It looks like it has like, okay, there's that symbol. People are like, oh my God, that's like one of the.
Oh, I see it.
That's like a devil symbol. I'm like, no, it's not a devil symbol. Like we're not into any of that. But it is on there. But yeah, this is a selenite little, like I put my crystals on there to cleanse them.
Yeah.
And so like I love my little selenite.
I have a big brown slab. I didn't bring it in here, but I brought different. I have a whole bunch of crystals here so we can talk about them as we go through it. But yes, the same principle. I have a round selenite slab. It's about that long. That round, and I put my crystals on there every night. So
I've been looking for like a big round one because
they're hard to find.
But so I was like, I have a
little
little one.
Have my crystal lady help me find it. If you guys are looking for crystals locally in Oklahoma, the two people I will recommend and always are if you're in Norman on Main Street, there is Sandalwood and Sage. There's a couple there that owns that store. They're so awesome, so helpful. Good prices, good quality. You can go in there and tell them what you're looking for or what properties you want to maybe make better, and they will help you out. And then in Edmond, there's another lady that most of you guys have probably seen if you've ever went to a spirit fair. Her name is Debbie, and she owns Rock in Granny.
Oh, I know. That's awesome. I love.
She's the coolest lady ever. Like she gets good quality stuff, and it's so cheap. Like I get all my crystals almost from her.
Yeah, I've been to a few of those, and they are really good prices, and she's super nice. And
and then if she has something, she has a huge selection. First of all, she goes to like those major gym shows and brings stuff back. So like if she has something that or doesn't have something that I'm needing, like I'll tell her that's who actually brought me that big slab. I was like, hey, this is what I'm looking for. The next time she went to a big crystal show, she brought it back.
Cool, that's awesome.
She has a Facebook page if you guys want to check her out. She's a super sweet lady.
Yeah, we should tag that page here. When we're done and people can go check it out if they want. Let's see. Keegan says, do you have a crystal that will predict when I'll find a girlfriend? Crystals? Yeah, no.
So no, but you should probably be carrying around some rose quartz because that's for the heart chakra.
Yes, for love.
And crystal quartz because that'll amplify it.
There you go. Put those in your pocket.
It won't predict it, but it'll help attract. And it'll also work with self-love because you have to love yourself before you can truly love somebody else. The more you work on that, it's going to naturally gravitate or that person towards you. So
very true. I had there's a like as we're talking about this because we go with the flow. There's a quote or something I saw on Facebook. It's like instead of trying to find the right person, try to be the right person. And that like just clicked in my head. I'm like, that is so true because you got to have your own shit together before you like get someone else involved. Otherwise it's just a huge mess of stuff. So anyways, I digress.
Well, that's what we actually talked about in the last week's episode. We talked about vibration. So if you missed that episode, go back and watch it. You can go to either one of our videos. I think it's in there. It's on both of our websites. So do you want to give them your website?
Well, it's there. It's not up yet. I'm doing
when it's up, let me know.
Yes, I will.
So we have our YouTube channel, or you can just go on transcendwellnessok.com, and I have all the videos. I have a playlist, so I'm just uploading them as we go because I want them to be easier to go back to if somebody misses it. Yes. So you guys, if you missed the last one, what she is talking about is the law of attraction, which is vibration, being a vibrational match for that which you're trying to attract. So yes, it wasn't off topic. It was actually Perfect.
I know. Nothing's off topic, is it? It just goes where it needs to go. Yeah.
Yep,
that's awesome. Oh my gosh. Okay, so back to crystals. Yes, I love them. Rockin' Granny. Like, I think that's where we left off because she has a big selection. Yes. We were going to share her page. How long have you, like, when did you get introduced to crystals and all this? Like, how long have you been in it? Yeah.
Like, my whole life I've been attracted to crystals. Like, when I was a little kid, like, when we go on trips and stuff, that's the souvenir I always wanted was crystals from wherever. So I think that's interesting that I've always been drawn to them.
That is interesting.
Yeah, but as far as like really like learning about properties of crystals and like really using them for what they are instead of just like admiring if they're beautiful, I'd probably say 2013 probably, like really been in it.
Okay. That's still been a while though. Let's see.
So, and I'm still learning. Like you talk about like, oh yeah, I know I don't know that much. Like I said with everything else, Morgan, like we're all learning here.
I know we are. I have to work on that negative self-talk.
You're working on it.
That's hard for me. I'm aware of it. That's the first step. Linda, the name of the store in Edmond was Rockin' Granny, right?
So, and it's not a store. She actually does it out of her house, and then she goes to all these spirit fairs.
Okay.
So, but you can contact her on her Facebook page and just let her know. And she has people come to her house to go through things.
Oh, does she ship things too, or does she?
I think so. Okay. I think you could talk to her about that. But it's
rock.
So rock dash.
Oh, here it is.
Letter N dash Granny.
Okay.
And you can find her on Facebook.
I found it. I'm gonna share it here.
Her name's Debbie, and she's super sweet, and she will hook you guys up. Like, I'm talking high quality crystals for like stupid cheap prices. Like
cheap.
It is. Because there's some people, like when people are first getting into crystals and they don't know about it, they might go spend like so much money on these crystals, and you can turn around and get them for like so cheap because people don't know what they don't know. Or they're paying high top dollar, for not a top dollar crystal.
Yeah.
Which I can say with Debbie, all of hers are great quality.
Yeah.
So,
I guess you still, like, just like with any business, like you need to know like about the person you're dealing with, because there are going to be people that hike up the price and kind of want to like take advantage of your being naive about things. And so, because rocks, I've seen some expensive ones. I mean, they can get expensive, like thousands of dollars.
Well, I don't have one that expensive, but guess how? Okay, just take a guess at how much this crystal was.
Oh my gosh, that's so pretty. 50?
Higher.
Oh God, 75.
Higher.
100.
What are your guesses, guys?
Yeah.
Higher.
Guess how much
do you think this crystal was?
What is it?
It's Larimar.
Larimar. I haven't heard of that one.
It's my favorite because to me it looks like when you're looking at the bottom of a pool.
Yeah, it has like the watery light ripple effect. That's amazing.
And you can only get these in the Dominican Republic is where they're sourced from.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So any guesses, people?
Let's see.
No? 300? It's lower than that. Definitely 150. Okay. Jennifer, look, you're close. It was 175 for this crystal.
Whew.
And this is how tiny it is.
Wow.
So it also depends on the crystal, how rare it is, where it's been sourced from, because there's a lot of crystals, that, was it shungite, which is what I'm wearing here. I think it was the one I was thinking of. But it was there for a while. People could not get it, couldn't get it at all because they weren't letting people source it anymore. I'm pretty sure it was shungite, but and they jacked up the price and for the people who already had them. So
yeah, that's crazy. But that's a good point though, because different crystals you can source them from either there's one place for them or there's a bunch of them. So the rarity of it is going to affect the price as well. So yeah.
So for example, you could go to Arkansas and there are several mines in Arkansas. You can go dig for crystal quartz.
I know. I want to do that. That's on my bucket list.
We're going to do that. We're going to have a group do that, just FYI. But so this is one I dug up there.
Seriously? You dug? That's huge.
Well, this is a rare one. So this is called a twin. See how there's two separate growing together? And this is after it's cleaned, right? So when I dug it up, there's still a little bit I couldn't get off. So you see that stuff?
Oh, yeah. That's just a little bit
so that was iron on it because the mine that it was in, it was heavy in iron. So I literally had to use iron out to get it all off, to get it this clear. But it looked like a giant dirt clod.
Yeah.
And I just a little bit of glimmer.
You're like sitting there like, that is awesome. I want to go do that. That'd be the best
fun.
trip.
And the place that I went, you can basically pay this guy with liquor. It's because it's a private mine, and they're in a dry county. So some friends of ours.
Just like under the table. Here's some stuff.
Yeah, he's like, bring a bottle of Jack, and he let us literally dig all day, and whatever we found, we could take.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
And then in Jet, Oklahoma, up towards the Panhandle in Oklahoma, you can go to the Salt Plains, the Great Salt Plains.
Yes, I have
and you can dig up hourglass selenite. Do you have some?
I have a cluster. Where did I put it? It's up here. I think that's what it is. But I have a bunch of little ones. I think they're in my closet. But this is like my dad's friend gave it to me because he knows like I'm into crystals and stuff. But it's like,
oh, that one's cool. Yeah, that's a really good
a huge one. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's hard to see, but like you can, like normally they're just like these little, have this little hourglass shape in them.
I have one.
Yeah.
So I can show you.
But this is, this one was really cool. Ashton's coming back. Yeah, I totally want to go. Has anyone else dug for crystals anywhere? Anyone watching where you're at and where you went? Because honestly, that sounds like so much fun. Even for kids too. I'm going to take my kids to go and do that.
Okay. I'm back.
Yay.
All right. So I don't know if they can tell because the background's kind of dark, but can you guys see the dirt in here?
Yeah.
Oh, there. If I use my hand, you can see it.
Oh, yeah, that makes it a little better.
So it looks like an hourglass. So these are about average size that you'll dig up, but there's a lot smaller ones. So this is what you can go dig up in Jet, Oklahoma, or Freedom, Oklahoma. It's like all right there together.
Yeah, I want to take my kids there. They would love. Excuse me.
Wear sunscreen. That's the warning. If any of you guys go, you are on Salt Plains, so it is white and it is reflecting all day. I got so sunburned because that was the first time I went and I didn't know.
Oh, so good tip. Good tip. Yeah. Oh man, that would not be fun.
It wasn't.
That's cool. I'm still impressed by that huge crystal that you had from the guy that you paid with alcohol.
Yeah, and that's just one of the many that I found. That was like my prize possession one of the ones I got. But. Wow. Oh, and the other thing I was going to say about Debbie, when you buy the crystals from her, she also has these little cutouts that'll tell you the crystal and what properties it has for every crystal she has. So you won't have to remember it all. She has cutouts for you. That's what I meant to say.
They're not all from her, but anytime like I order, I usually get like a little it's like looks like, I mean, you can't really see it, darn it. But it's just because I'm not going to remember everything, and I keep them all in my little book of stones book, so I can like flip through it and see all the properties, and I'll even write on there like what it is, because sometimes I have so many different stones. I'll have to describe it. I'm like, the blue one with like the swirl in it, because
there's a lot to remember for sure.
Yeah, I have a lot. But yeah, that's a good tip. Keep those things.
Yes, I'm scrolling back up because I think we missed some.
Did we miss some comments?
It's weird when it's on a short screen. I can't see all of them. My dirt in my front flower bed is from Arkansas, and crystals come to the surface when it rains. That's so awesome, Lucky.
Wow.
That'd be such a cool surprise. Like, oh, it's raining. Oh, crystals.
Huh.
She said stoners.
Oh, that's funny. I guess we like stones and crystals, just stoners.
And then Debbie said, we have pink halite in one of our salt plains out here. That's awesome. I've never actually seen pink halite, like where it's sourced. So where do you, if you don't mind saying there, what area do you live in, Debbie? Yeah. I'm just curious where that is.
Pink halite.
Yeah. So halite is like the white on the bracelet you have on. That's halite.
Oh, okay.
There's different ones, and she's saying there's pink halite.
Oh. That is true. I do notice in my book, it's like you can have this color of this stone, like they come in different colors. So, yeah. If she's still on, she'll probably let us know. And if not, we can message her and be like, "Hey, will you like tell me where this is?" So we can go dig some up. Yeah.
So I did take some. I put like a little bit of notes that I was gonna touch on. But I guess I could have said this at the beginning about what crystals actually are.
Oh,
So they're not just rocks. Like, yes, they're minerals and stuff like that. But they're actually mini record keepers in a way, because we talked about vibrations, right? So
Yeah.
crystals keep the vibrations over time. And they've been deep in the earth, for millions of years. So think of it as like a record keeper for Earth. And some people might have heard about like crystal skulls and all that kind of whole thing with the Mayans, Aztecs, and like all those connections. But that's what they mean when they say like it's a record keeper. They're saying this crystal is holding all of the knowledge or whatever from the world.
Wow.
Ridgecrest, California. Oh, nice.
Well, California, we'll go out there. That's interesting. I didn't ever think of it like that. Like I knew about I'll see different posts from people and I don't know if it's a specific type of crystal, but it'll have like shapes in it and they call them, God, I cannot remember what they are. I feel like a weirdo. But I didn't know like all crystals kept records, but it totally makes sense because, they have their own vibrations and they've been around, who knows how long. So that's fascinating.
Well, and the other thing with that is, so crystals have their own blueprint. They have their own vibrations. And that's why, if you hold them, it changes your frequency or vibration to match the crystal that you're using, right? And then you talk about how they've been around forever. Yeah, like Egyptians use them.
Lemurian, yes. Sorry.
Yes, that's another one. A lot of the ancient, like I said, like Aztecs and stuff like that use them. The Romans and stuff use them. I think it was the Romans that put them on their shield for like protection and stuff. And then think about like royalty, right? Like a lot of royals on their crown would have like ruby, like all the
gemstones and
gemstones. Yeah. So I think that's interesting to me. Or like I said, even the Egyptians, they would wear them as different pieces, and they would also use them as like eye makeup. So like malachite, the green one I was talking about, it's actually poisonous, so it's funny to think about what they use it as. I know it is when you ingest it, so I don't know, maybe the powder if it's not inside, but to put it on your eye for eyeshadow.
Weird. So they'd like grind it up and like use their glitter makeup. Wow, that's fascinating. Huh.
I guess it was worth it. Beauty's.
I guess so. All the pharaohs and people. Yeah. Wow. See, I'm learning a lot. I had no idea about this stuff. That's really cool. Let's see. And I like how you said that people like you use them as tools because they have different properties. Like, like rose quartz is for love. So it's not witchcraft. It's not all these other things like people freak out. It's not just it's not just a pretty rock. They actually have properties and their vibrations when you come in contact with them, like they assist you in whatever it is you're trying to accomplish. So they're little tools, or big tools, I guess, if they're bigger ones. So I think that's why I have so many. Like I just like them around. I have to be better about being conscientious to use them while I'm meditating or to wear them or whatever. But I feel like even just the fact that they're around, like in my room, in this space is like, they're still working. They're still helping. Yeah. Plus they are really pretty. Like my, I love this one. Like my amethyst one. It's so pretty.
It's a good one.
Yeah.
It's
so purple. And I love purple and it's so shiny and I love that one.
I think somebody asked in the beginning of this when I was scrolling through about if we had any favorite crystals. I thought I saw that.
Somebody did ask that. Let me see.
It was.
Oh, Jennifer did. Jennifer asked, "What are your favorites?"
So amethyst is one of your favorites. What other favorites do you have?
I like fluorite. I have a fluorite wand here, and I don't know why. I think I really love the colors in it and. Let me see. Let me get my book and read up what fluorite is. Although I'm sure you have it probably memorized.
No, I don't actually. Okay. That's the one you got me is fluorite. That's one of my favorite ones too.
Oh yeah,
that looks like
pretty.
I don't know if I can tell.
That was
it kind
more
of
of a different color scheme than what normal fluorite was. Yeah. But I love fluorite. Even the color in my room, like it's painted like fluorite colors, and I didn't realize it till after, and I was like, oh my god, that's like fluorite. Here we go. Let's see. let's see. It says, okay, so the properties of fluorite, the great paving stone, is it pathing or paving? I'm sorry, guys, it's really light. That's a dumb question. Say paving
Probably
stone. Paving, okay. The great paving stone, which reveals sole purpose and helps you align with your intentions. Fluorite clears obstacles to your dreams. So
that's a pretty good crystal to have around.
Yeah, so I feel like for me, just on my journey, I was like, what am I here for? Like, what's my purpose? And then I do struggle with obstacles that seem like the same things that come over. So I'm like, I want to, we need to get over these obstacles, get through them or whatever. So that's probably right now why I'm really drawn to fluorite. It's so pretty.
It's just so pretty. Yeah,
it is
really
pretty.
is.
Yeah, just a beautiful color. And what did you say yours was? Your favorites? I had amethyst and fluorite. Yeah.
So obviously the fluorite, the one I showed you, the one you got me. The Larimar that I showed, I like that one a lot.
Mm-hmm. That one was beautiful.
Any of the, like I said, the shungite, so what I'm wearing now, this is EMF protection. Black tourmaline for grounding, because what I do, I need lots of grounding because I work with
yes, you do. Yes.
What else is my halite's a really good one that I like.
Yeah.
So that's what she was talking about. Halite. This is white halite though. It kind of looks marbled. That's why I like it. I think it's
pretty.
neat.
Yeah.
I have so many. It's hard just to pick one.
Yeah.
I'm picking some crystals right now.
I like rose quartz too. Like rose quartz, I feel is like
rose quartz is a good one. Yeah.
It's just good. It's just love. Like we all need more love.
And this is the malachite that I was talking about earlier.
Okay.
I really like malachite, and this is my smaller pieces. This is one of the ones the Egyptians would grind up to use as eyeshadow.
That's so fascinating to me.
Those are probably my favorites.
Yeah.
And then this amethyst one that I had.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
So another question. You wanna know how much crystals are? Guess how much that one was.
150?
Ooh, close. Lower.
130.
118.
118. Okay. That's not too bad for a big piece like that.
No, but it's because of where I got it. So I got it when I was down in Austin. That's where I like to get a lot of crystals too. There's a store down in Austin called Nature's Treasures.
Okay.
And yes, there's a Nature's Treasures here. It's not the same, not as big a selection.
Right.
They just happen to be called the same thing. But the one I'm talking about is in Austin, Texas. So
nice. I need to do more traveling. I want to go to the gem shows that they have. Like
go to the one in Denver.
Just like so like huge. I'm like, I want to go there.
Go to the one in Denver. It's every September, and it's the same. It's usually the same vendors who go to the Tucson gem show, the real huge one that everybody always goes to. It's usually the same people that go to the one in Denver.
Nice.
And it's like so big, you have to take days to do it because there's so many crystals there.
Oh my gosh.
It is awesome. And they're really good prices, and they have fossils and stuff like that too.
That would be awesome. That'd be something, Jeremy. He'd be like, "Okay, babe, like you go look at your rocks, and I'll stay here and like go see a movie." Because I would do that all day. Like I would do that all day long.
It's fun, and you have to if you go. It's all day.
Yeah.
So Jordan said Moonstone is one of her favorites. Moonstone's a really good one. Lucky said, I love my space rocks because they're so cool.
Space
Boston,
rocks.
Texas?
Is that like the like meteorite stuff that comes down? Like is that what space rock is?
Like she legit has space rocks. She brought them to the was it the new moon meditation we did?
I heard her talking about that. Like space rock.
They were
like cool. I had like I have one. It's it's up there. It's around my person, but it's I don't know if this counts as a space rock, but I saw it. It says Campo del Celio meteorite. It says the stone of extraterrestrial contact. It deepens psychic abilities, opens the third eye, and facilitates access to the Akashic records. Nice. So I saw that and I was like, oh, that sounds kind of cool. Because I believe in aliens, you guys, because they're real. So whatever.
Let's see.
Meteorite and a tektite. Cool.
I think that's how you say it. Jordan said, I went there with you, Ashton, I think. I can't remember, Jordan, which place you're talking about because I named a couple, but.
Let's see. Debbie asked, do you do new moon meditations live on here? We haven't. We did one in person. We, in Oklahoma, we have a group of people here, and we went and did a new moon meditation. So I wouldn't say it'd be out of the question, but
yeah, we can do that sometime.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, so we'll do stuff with that group, and then at Transcend, we also have, our sound immersions. We try to link up with the new moon and the full moon. So Jordan's been to Austin. Oh yeah, we did go there. Jordan, you did go with me to Nature's Treasures. I forgot about that trip.
Fun.
You are correct.
She's like, don't you remember? Come on.
I've been to so many Christmas. No, I do remember. I remember taking all of them there. I was like, we got to go there, guys. And they loved it. So
that's awesome.
So speaking of that, one of the notes that I put down is somebody might have a question like how to choose a crystal. So how to go about doing that. So for the most part, I'd say follow your intuition. What are you led to? What are you drawn to? And then when you get over there, like pick them up and feel them, like really pay attention. How does it make you feel when you're holding this crystal? Does it feel good? Does it feel bad? How's it interacting with your energy? Because that's a whole nother thing. It can take a while to get integrated with these new crystals when you first get them, like to get used to the energy from them. And then the other thing is, but if you're looking for something specific, like, okay, I have insomnia, so you can do a little bit of research to see what crystals are good for insomnia, then go and then do the same thing. Like, go look at the different crystals and be like, okay, like how is good one. So go look at highlight and then pick it up and then feel it, see how it feels for you. That's how I decide on crystals most of the time.
Me too. It is a lot of
you, but
intuition.
I like to see how they feel.
Oh yeah, and like you can have the same type of crystal and you're just like, oh, it's not this one or this one. Like you really do get a feeling, which I know some people they don't really get. They're like, how do you feel? It's just a knowing. Like you just feel, it just feels right. Or you can be drawn to certain things, and it's just it's just a feeling that you can't really describe other than you just like know. And that's like one of the coolest feelings to just, you're like, I know this is it. And it doesn't have to be with just crystals. It could be like with a decision in your life or whatever. Like, I just know. Like when we were back a long time ago, when we were looking at a place to get married, tons of people, they look around different places. Like the first place we went, I was like, I know this is it. And that's the place we went. I was like, I don't need to go look anywhere else. Like you just know, you just feel it. So like, I'm not going to waste my time with anything else. So it can be the same with crystals.
I like doing that with decisions, like closing my eyes and say it's like two options, right? I'll put one option in this hand and one option in this hand, and I'll close my eyes and I'll ask the question. And when I ask, I'm paying attention to how my hands feel, right? And I'm not going with the one that feels heavy, because most people would be like, oh, well, this one weighs more. This is the one drawing me. No, don't go for the thing that feels heavy. You're actually looking for the one that feels light, because that's going to be easier or more lighter energy with that, if that makes sense. Like it's the energy you're picking up from the decision. So that's how I make decisions sometimes. If it's
that's a good idea.
I'm not sure which way to go.
Yeah, because I get stuck with that too. You're like, I don't want to make the wrong decision. Like on certain things, you're like, how do I?
Well, there is no wrong decision. First of all,
I know
there's only different experiences and paths to take.
It's not programming. We're just so worried, like we don't want to make the wrong decision. But really, like you said, there's not a wrong decision. You will. There's a lesson in whatever choice you make. I mean, it's either a decision that brought you to exactly what you wanted, or a decision that helped teach you a lesson, maybe not to do that again. So,
or to show you contrast, to show you maybe you weren't sure what you wanted, so you picked this, and now it showed you contrast. You're like, okay, experience that. Don't want it. I want the opposite now.
Yeah.
So
there
are only opportunities. There is no such thing as wrong choices.
That's true. That'd be a good topic for a live, because that's so hardcore in our culture.
We could go through a whole lot of deprogramming, like how many programs all of us have about
right and wrong, and you're just consumed with, you don't want to like screw everything up, but
you can't screw up, people. Newsflash. Even if you do the worst thing, you still haven't screwed up, because if you learn something from it, that's what you took from it. You could
exactly.
And I know people are like, okay, well, about murders and rapists and all that. Okay, Well, first of all, even those people, they came into this life, who knows what their upbringing was and their programming, that where they even justified to think that was okay.
Right.
But they might have had to go through that experience, especially if they're like a younger soul or something, as far as like learning lessons in this lifetime to be able to come back the next time, if you believe in reincarnation, and be a higher soul so they don't ever experience that again. Or a lot of times, from what I've researched, if that happens, if they're like a murderer, right, in this lifetime, they'll come back the next lifetime, and sometimes they're the one being murdered.
Oh,
like
God.
to see both sides of it, because we're ever expanding. The universe is ever expanding, and you're me, I'm you, we're everybody watching. We're all having our own experience, right? So the more experiences we have, the more we're learning, the more lessons, and we can do it so many different ways.
Yeah.
That's why I like The Egg by Andy Weir. If you guys have not read it, it's like a short story. It's like 5 minutes long. You should read it. Check it out. Let me know what you think. But
The Egg?
Basically,
okay.
It's called The Egg by Andy Weir, and his last name is like, don't quote me, but I think it's W-E-I-R.
Okay.
If you Google it, it'll come up. So
okay. The Egg.
It's really good.
Okay. The Egg. Cool. That's weird. Yeah, that's weird for me to think about, because there is like crazy stuff that happens in the world, and you're like, oh my gosh, like how can someone be so horrible and like awful, and you like hate them? And that's been a really interesting thing to process, because we all come into this world as a baby, like
innocent baby,
a sweet little baby,
pure joy,
and along the way something happens, and it creates the person that they are today, and it's programming. And so that's such a weird concept for people to think, because you automatically you want to hate people, like murderers and like all these horrible things happening. You want to hate them, but you're like, but what? They were a baby, like something happened to them. And like there's this cycle that it gets really deep, and it's a little bit intense, but we all start off as babies, okay? Like,
and for those people who do those things, usually those are the people that need the love the most, right? Like they can't even conceive what they're doing is a bad thing. They don't even know what love is, or whatever. And if you choose to hate that person, you're just being just like the person you're hating.
Yeah.
You know, when you hear about mothers, right, who forgive their daughter's killer, and everybody's like, oh, I could never forgive them, and blah, blah, blah. First of all, people, let me tell you something. Forgiveness is not for the other person. It is for you. That other person's going to live their life, do whatever, not even think twice maybe about what they did to you. However, you're the one sitting over here thinking about it all the time. So forgiving them is to release and let it go back to the universe, to God, to whatever, so that you can focus on you and live your life.
Exactly.
It's for you to heal and move on.
Exactly. And it doesn't mean that whatever happened was okay. That's not.
Oh, yeah. No, it never justifies it.
Right. And I struggled with that a long time. I'm like, I don't want to forgive that. Like, no, that was not okay.
How could I ever?
No. But then when you realize that it really is for you and your peace of mind, because you carry that heavier than anyone else, and it will just weigh on you forever and ever, and you don't want that. So that's a lesson in forgiveness. It's kind of hard to switch your mindset around about what it is, but when you do, it helps a lot.
I always joke that there's a meme out there that says, you know too much about psychology when you can never be mad at anybody for what they do. And I truly believe that, because I've been in some really shitty situations, especially recently, that I can't even like be mad at that person, because I'm like, I know why you're doing this. Like, I see the program, I know how it's working. It's just for me to change mindset and how I feel about it, to be able to serve me.
Exactly.
Not give my power away. I think that's the other thing with forgiveness, is that is you taking your power back. If you've been through something horrible or whatever, and you're still living through it day to day, it's taking your power every single day. So forgiving someone to let it go is you taking your power back and like, dude, screw this. I'm not letting this take one more second of my time, of my life. I'm here to live, not to relive the same thing over and over.
Exactly. It's taking control, which is what you got to do. Don't give your energy away. Let's see. Jennifer asked a question. She says, do you think we pick our path before our incarnation? That's a good question.
Okay, here's my theory on it, and then I want to hear your theory on it.
Okay.
My theory is yes. I think we do set like an overview, right? But as humans, we are incarnated and we do have free will. So I think there's not one way to do it. Like we say these are things we're going to do, but it's like the butterfly effect, right? We make this decision, it changes us a little bit, and this is going to change us later on. So yes, I think we pick the path, but I think the trail in which we get there can change based off free will that we have as humans.
Yeah.
What's your thought?
I also believe in that. And I think, at least the way I think of it, I think it's more in terms of like a mission, like you have something to achieve.
Yes,
and a lesson to learn, or multiple lessons, or whatever it is. But I do think that you choose with whatever your soul needs to learn. Like maybe, okay, I learned this, maybe I need to learn this now. Could be on different planets too, you know. Earth's not the only planet in the universe. So we do, I believe, choose our path. I think we choose our parents,
100%.
the family, the family that we come into. So you have a general overview of, okay, you know, here's the family, here's kind of how the family situation is. You choose that, but then, like you said, we all have free will. So I don't think there's like a set path, like, okay, you're going to do this, and this. Because things are going to change. You're going to adapt. You're going to maybe take longer to learn the lesson, or maybe you learn it quicker and you can accelerate your learning. Like you can learn this next lesson that maybe you would have needed another life to learn, but you accelerated so quickly, you can learn it in this life too. So that's how I view it. It's very just open to being in tune with yourself, because you got to find yourself first. I mean, and you got to work through all the programming, because we're not,
which is 24/7 work, guys. You don't ever hit a spot where you're like, all right, I got it. Like it's perfect now. Everything's aligned and going so great.
Right. Like that's
practice.
Right. That does not happen. And you know, we don't really learn these things. I didn't learn this in church. I think even the fact we're speaking about reincarnation has some people like, oh my gosh, like how can you believe that? And it's not like, if you don't believe in it,
we talk about cool. On Awaken people. We talk about the things that people don't necessarily talk about.
Exactly. And like, if you don't believe it, that's cool, but you don't need to hate on people that do believe it. You know, maybe we'll spark some interest, because I remember as a kid, like a very young kid, maybe 7-ish, I remember trying to think of the concept of living forever. Like you die and go to heaven and you live forever. And and even now, and think of as a kid, you're like, forever, like it never, you're just going to like go sit around forever, like forever. It just never, ever stops. And so I think it's funny I had that thought as a kid. And now that I'm older and can really kind of branch out on my own, it makes sense. Like if you have forever, of course you're gonna go do different things and experience life on other planets and all. Like, of course you are, because you have infinite time. You're not just gonna sit on your ass up on a cloud and do nothing. You're gonna go
like
have
watching your adventures. Like, oh hi guys.
Yeah, you're gonna go have adventures. Like that's totally, like you're gonna have universal adventures, and that is really cool to me. So that's my thing anyway. That's fun. That sounds fun to me.
Yeah. Well, I believe that because, you know, if you want to talk science, right, physics, once energy is created, it never ceases to exist. So I think even as we die, we're not really dying. We might leave this human form.
Just this form,
meat suit. And it just changes form of energy, right? And then we can come back as other things. Or whatever. There was a question on here that I want to scroll back up because it was a good one, and I want to answer it because I got a good answer.
Yeah.
Debbie said, why do you think we would choose to enter into abusive family if we choose our families?
That's a good question.
I have an answer.
I would love to. I do not. That's one of the questions I'm like, why? So I would love to hear your answer on that.
My thought on that, and this is again my perspective, so take it as you will. My thought on it is, the people in this lifetime that hurt us the most sometimes are our greatest teachers. Mm-hmm. And if you look at like any mentor out there, right? Like a motivational speaker or somebody famous or like whatever, they're usually people that have been through the worst shit and they're inspiring other people with it. And that's what I've talked about. When you go through something, you can choose to use it as an anchor to weigh you down, or you can use it as a catalyst to push you forward.
Yeah.
And a lot of those motivational speakers and stuff like that, they use it as a catalyst. Like Tony Robbins, right?
Yeah.
He had an emotional upbringing, abusive with his mom and all this stuff. He could have like used that as his crutch, his story. Like, well, I'm never going to be anybody in life because I was abused or whatever. But he chose to use it as fuel to inspire people. And you know how many people's lives he's changed because of that.
Right. That's an
It's
amazing
insane.
gift. You could almost call it a gift, because he's choosing, he makes that choice. That's that free will coming in. You have the choice to let it make you or let it break you. Yeah.
Yes. And then the other thing with that is, I think with the families, what specifically she's talking about, why do we would choose abusive families? So yeah, they're our greatest teachers. And I believe in like soul families, right? So the people that you're the closest with, they're the ones that choose to do the hardest thing with you in this lifetime. Because they love you so much that they're like, I'll be that shitty person for you this lifetime so that you can get this lesson.
That's deep.
That's my belief. So that's just me.
Yeah, that's deep. I mean, it makes sense if you understand how soul families work. Oh, that'd be a good topic too, soul families.
Yeah.
Let's see. Jennifer had a good question too. She says, do you think there are parts of the Bible about reincarnation that didn't make the edit or that were poorly translated? So here's my
What's your take?
deal about the Bible. The truth is there, as I believe the truth is in all religious texts. It's just how I think it's been translated, and also who got their hands on it to translate how they wanted, or to maybe like omit certain parts that didn't align with their agenda. So now I'll admit I've never like read the Bible front to back. I know there are some people that do and quote it, and there's some amazing things in there. I'm not against the Bible or anything, but I had this argument with my husband a lot before he kind of started his awakening journey, because he was like, how do you not, like, it's in the Bible. Like, it's in
the conversation. That's what you had.
Conversation, yes.
Different
heated conversations. And it like wasn't making sense to me. I'm like, look, when God like writes the Bible with his hand and like hands it down to me, like it's from him, he has his feather pen or whatever, then that will be the actual word of God. But when you go back, 2,000 years and you get into translation things, you get into all these different religions that break off and want to do their own thing. Like, the truth is in the translation. And I think it was David Wilcock. I heard the word angel in the Bible now is actually, when you go back and you translate it all, you go way back in time, messenger from the sky is what it originally translated to.
AKA alien.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I know some people be like, oh my God, what? But the truth is in the translation. And anything that would make you aware to your infinite amazingness, that you are one and you are connected to everything, you are God, all these things, like, they're not going to want you to know that. They don't want you to know that you have this true power. So yeah, they're going to admit, and they're going to censor and mistranslate and all this other stuff. But the truth is there if you understand how to translate and understand there are pieces missing from it.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of it, not all of it, but some of it was mistranslated and stuff like that.
Right. Definitely not all of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of truth there. Like, even Jesus laying hands on people, I'm like, oh, he's doing Reiki on people. Like,
yeah, I know.
I think my perspective, again, guys, we just talk about whatever on here, so you don't have to believe it. This is just my perspective. My perspective is, when Jesus was missing from a certain period of time of his life, like, where was he? And then he like reappeared. I think he went off to hang out with Buddha, right? And I think this inspired, like, to teach these teachings, right? And he was basically just trying to teach people you have the power within yourself. You don't necessarily need something externally. It's already there. You are of God. You are of the universe. You are of love, of source. You're all, it's already in you. You're a piece of it. And I think in religious culture, when you start talking like that, when you said, I am God, so many of us would be like, that's blasphemy.
They get mad.
Yeah.
And they're like,
because they used to believe that they're below somebody. And really, we're all one. Like, we're all of the same makeup.
Yes.
Like,
yes, we're all
and
humans.
that's why I believe God doesn't make mistakes. So people that say God doesn't make gay people and I'm gay, and I'm just like, I'm just how you made me. So you're saying you screwed up? You're calling God fuck up? Like, what are you actually saying here?
I know.
Because
it's like you don't even know what you're saying right now. Like you don't get a say in other people's truth. Like you don't.
Yeah.
Like your programming is just like there's so much going on with the programming, and it's like, does it matter? Like it doesn't matter. Like if anyone's gay or straight or bi or they're black or white or they're this religion, it doesn't matter. Or that religion. Like
love is love is love is love, and that's the only thing that matters.
Exactly. Are you a good person trying to like do good for the world and like love yourself and love other people? Then okay, you're all right with me.
You're doing the best you can with what you got.
Exactly. So it's really interesting how religion tends to pit us against each other, and I'm against religion. Now listen, that doesn't mean, look, I believe in Jesus, I believe in Buddha, all the other ascended masters. When I say like I'm not religious, it's because I don't follow religion. Because it's like you're not gonna.
I'm spiritual. That's what I say.
Right, spiritual. You're not gonna separate. I believe in
omniism, like what you said earlier.
Yeah, like it's
all religions have the truth in them.
Exactly. You just gotta know where to look. So it's just all about love, and so many people get tied up in all the hate and like what's right and what's wrong. It's all this division. Division causes so much problems. And
newsflash.
Yeah, and that's
the world is not black and white, people. There's a lot of gray areas. There is no right and wrong.
No.
It's what we talked about earlier. There's choices, and there's certain things that lead up to those choices.
Mm-hmm.
Just because it's wrong for you doesn't mean it was necessarily the wrong choice for that person. Mm-hmm. So that's my perspective of it.
Exactly. So I love these open conversations.
That doesn't justify all the hateful things that happen, right? The murders and all that. I'm not saying that, so don't take it that way. What I'm saying is you can't understand that person. You're not in that mind or that mindset or that person's shoes. Like, so who are you to judge them is what I'm saying.
Exactly. You don't have their perspective.
Right? You are God, but you're not here to judge each other. We're here to learn our lessons, to live life, to love one another, and have community. That's what we're here to do. Exactly. We're not here to like point out the flaws in each other and spew hate and all these other things. Like, we're actually here to come together.
Yes, exactly. That's how we change the planet. That's how we change the world. It's like, let's just chill out. Let's just chill out a minute, and just like try to have some empathy, try to understand what other people are going through, give yourself some grace when you're just having a tough time. Yes. Because you have to allow that. And that gets into the balance part. You can't be happy all the time because nothing is going to be perfect and happy all the time.
If you are, you're delusional.
Right. Yeah. Like then you're really burying some things, but unless you're Jesus or Buddha, I'm sure they all have their things too. And and I even posted that question. I'm like, if we're all balanced, with the light and the dark, we have the, whatever you want to call it, yin and yang. I'm like, so that means Buddha and Jesus had these things. What's the other balanced side of them? But you're not allowed to ask those questions because. So you're saying saying Jesus had a dark side? Like, no, that's not what I'm saying. I'm just like asking, how does all the balance, which is a law of the universe, how does all that work for these amazing ascended spiritual masters?
I think it comes back again to though perspective, because when you say the word dark, and the people watching, when we say the word dark, you each have your own thought on what that word means, tailored specifically to you because of your program, your perspective. So to me, like, I don't think, when I think yin and yang, I don't think black and white because that's not our world. I think of fluid, I see balance, but it's like it works together with itself.
Yeah.
Like you said, Lucifer, the light bringer, finding light in the darkest times. That's true. Lucifer was an angel, right? Wasn't he like God's favorite angel? I don't know.
He was cast out, right? I'm not a
don't quote me on the religious stuff because that's not my forte, but I'm pretty sure he was like one of God's favorite angels, right? And he kicked him out or Yeah. Interesting.
Oh, yeah, there's a lot there. with Bible stuff. But these are conversations we should be able to have. Just ask questions like, what about this? Instead of feeling like shame and like, how dare you ask that question? This is just the way it is because it is.
We
and
should
like,
always
but
question.
Why? Yes.
That's
oh my gosh,
that's
yes.
me. I'm a but why person. Like that kid. I just
Why?
picture like the little kid that's like, but why?
Yeah.
And then they say something, but why? And it just keeps going. That's me, even now as an adult. Like, and that irritates the shit out of some people. I'll tell you, that was something that Megan didn't like about me, is that I'd ask questions sometimes.
Yeah.
And maybe thinking I'm doing it in a judgmental way, but I'm not. I'm a curious ass person. I just want to know.
I just want to know
how things work. I want to know why you think the way you think, so that I can be open to adapting. Well, maybe Morgan's thinking this. That's a good perspective to have. Maybe that's something I can change and adapt to. Maybe that aligns more with me. Like, I'm always questioning, because I'm not so set in my ways that I will turn away like what others' perspectives are. I want to hear all the perspectives. That's why I love this vlogcast we're doing with all these people interacting. Like, I want to know your perspective, because I could take something away from it and be like, that was a really good point. Like, now I view that a little bit differently just because of the awareness that you brought to me.
There's always something to learn. Like there really is. If you choose to, it always comes back to like these main things. Choice. Are you going to choose to be offended by something someone says, or to take it the wrong way, or assume they meant it this way, but they really meant it this way? You're like,
or you're not ask questions.
Right. You have to be willing to ask those questions. Like, okay, did you mean it like this? Or can I get some clarification? Because this makes me confused. And it's just, we're so afraid to have conversations because we don't like conflict. Right? Yeah. Like,
they think that asking questions is then having conflict, and that's not necessarily true. We're just having a conversation. That's open dialogue, and the most powerful relationship, friendships, like whatever, partnerships are those who can communicate like that.
Yes. Communication's huge.
Guys, that's the secret. Communication.
I know. Just learn how to talk and like, don't get offended. Ask questions.
Share.
And
share what you're really feeling, because they're not freaking mind readers. Don't get me wrong. There's some people out there that can read minds. I'm not that way. I can read feelings, like, because I'm an empath. I can pick up on things, but not everybody can do that. So it's just to be able to be safe enough and vulnerable enough and be okay with that, to share with the other person what you're feeling.
Yeah.
Because they don't know that what they said upset you based off whatever program you have going in your head, because they don't know all your programs. So they could have had it with said something with the like lightest heart, just best intentions, and you just like went 360, 180, whatever with it.
God, I can't believe you say that. They're like,
it's like text messages, right?
Oh,
you can say something. I hate that about text messages. So I throw lots of emojis in there so that people know.
I do emojis too. Yes, because if it's just words, you're like,
oh, that's like the inflection of it, like what you're saying. It could be like the most sweet thing you're saying to somebody, but it could be that one thing in there that they hit them just the wrong way, and they just like read it like in this like really mean voice, and you're really saying a sweet voice, and texts are funny.
They are funny, but emojis are life. I love them. You're like, okay, well, let's make this, winky face, like, I'm just joking.
To let you know, I'm just being lighthearted, like I'm
not being a jerk. I'm not being a jerk. What was I saying? I found with difficult conversations, it's interesting when you start asking questions, if people don't have an answer, if it's like, this is just because of programming or whatever, they get really pissed and really defensive, because it's like, they're like, oh, I mean, I don't know if it's like, but they're like, there is no answer. I don't have an answer other than this is just how it is, or this is just what I heard, or this is just how I was raised. I don't really know why. And that,
I've experienced that with people. Specifically, it's usually around religion.
It is.
I'll ask questions. I'm like, okay, well, why do you believe that? Well, I don't know. I just do. But why? Why do you believe that way? Well, my mom told me that. Okay, but why do you believe that way? And like, you just keep asking the question, and they get offended, because then it makes them start questioning themselves. They're like, oh, well, why do I feel that way? And then they get defensive, right? And then they're like, why? Because that's how it is, and that's how it's always going to be.
And that's their identity. So it's like, they almost take it as an attack on like who they are. Yeah, because they're like, oh,
I don't know why.
I don't know. I'm going to defend it. Cognitive dissonance. Yeah.
Ask questions.
Does not compute. I say that a lot. My husband's an IT guy. I'm like, does not compute.
That's funny.
We're just biological computers. We really are.
What did Rebecca say? Thanksgiving was always fun when my curiosity was suddenly piqued by my more traditional family members. I got to look quite a bit from my mom.
Oh my gosh.
LOL. Yeah. But you know what? Here's the thing, people. When you do that, you're still planting a seed. It may not come to fruition now, but it will eventually. And that is not up to you when or how or where.
Your job is
the point
plant
is
the
you
seed.
speak your truth.
Boop, there you go.
Just like, here's a little nugget for you. You hold on to that. And when they're ready to receive that knowledge or whatever, it will come to them. Yeah. And it could be the most random time. It could be a long time from now. It could be a week from now. It doesn't matter. Yeah. It's not up to you. Just speak your truth and put it out there.
Exactly. So. Which is why we're doing this, just to talk about things. We never know what we will say that might resonate with you or now or later. And you'll be like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad that they said that. I know I've had several instances just meeting people, just random conversations, and something clicks and you're like, oh my gosh. And then your whole life has changed. Your whole life has changed just because of that one person that said this one thing or asked you a question to something you didn't even know you should question. And it completely will alter your life. I've been there multiple times, and it's been so liberating and very freeing because I'm not the same person that I was even 3 years ago, even 7 years ago. And I feel like the more
you're not the same person you were like a year ago.
That's true.
2 years ago.
Yeah. I mean, it's
or like yesterday, right? Like based off the conversations we're having tonight, none of us are.
That's true. And it's so cool to see the progress and just of yourself, and just know that you've grown and you've changed, and like you can be proud of yourself for these things. Like I am. And a lot of people are, I can't be proud of myself, but I'm like, you should be proud of yourself because you're not going to change anything by staying the same. No. If you want to have an impact, if maybe that's your mission. I think for me, going back to missions, I think I chose this life to have an impact, to help bring awareness to Earth right now. Earth is really, we got a lot of shit going on. Okay. It's really dumb. Yep. There's a lot, but as the light workers, we're waking up and we're speaking our truth, and we're just creating this energy around the globe.
This grid.
Yeah. We're bringing change and awareness, and that's important for the next generation. I'm a mom. I have 3 boys. I hate to think about what the future would be if I wasn't speaking up, if my friends and everyone else wasn't speaking up. Like, I don't want my kids to live in that kind of world. I want to be able to look back and be like, I had a part in this. I had a small part in helping with this ripple effect of change to a more loving Earth. We're more trying to be more sustainable and get rid of plastics and like be good to the environment and like all of this stuff. Like this is a serious thing. That's why I take it so seriously. And you're going to have haters. You're going to have people that don't understand. Like today, somebody in the family, it wasn't my side of the family, but they were like offended that I advocate for marijuana. And I was like, are you serious? Like,
that's their program. It's not your problem.
And of all the things that happen in the world, you're worried that I say, hey, marijuana might help you out. Here's this plant that grows out of the ground that Jesus probably used. That'll piss people off if you tell them Jesus probably smoked weed. I did not say that. I did just now. But it's just
there's a lot of context.
You gotta speak your truth, and you're gonna get some shit, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Nope. If anything, you should use it as a guidance system to show you're on the right path.
Exactly.
If someone is paying enough attention to you to point out the flaws in you, that means you're doing something, and they're not, and that's why they're
shaking it up. Rocking the boat, man.
We're boat rockers over
here. That's what I came here to do. So I'm in alignment with my mission.
Yeah, I'm in here to inform and heal. So I'm doing that with what I do.
Absolutely are. So, I love it. We are awesome. We're awesome people.
You said something. I'm trying to go back because I just lost it, and it was really good what you were talking about. Dang it.
Sorry.
It was so good.
I ramble. No. You're like, I could talk about 6 different things by the time she's done talking.
No. It's because I don't interrupt people, because there could be something, a little nugget that you're putting out there that's really good. I want to be able to receive it just like everybody else watching. It's okay. If it comes back to me, it comes back to me.
That's right. It will. Oh gosh. Let's see. Had some good viewers and interaction. Hey, Heather.
Yeah. Thank you guys for interacting because this is what makes these fun.
Yeah.
Debbie said, I feel like religion was developed by, oh my God, I cannot read. Oh my God. I'm kidding. I feel like religion was developed to govern the people 100%. That's what we talked about. Like, got to do this, you're going to hell. You got to do this to go to heaven.
Yeah. Fear-based.
Yeah. Yes. And my belief is that heaven and hell is right now, presently, how you're experiencing this lifetime. Either you're living in heaven or you're living in hell. It's not a destination you're going to reach. Like, it's now, people. Like, that's what we talk about, being present in the moment. However you're experiencing should tell you where you're at as far as that goes.
Yeah. That's a good theory. Because I do have some days where I feel like, am I in hell right now? Like, this is really a shitty time. Like, what is happening? But then I know I'm not going to be here forever. I'm going to, move on, learn what I need to, and, get back to my life. But yeah, it's all fear-based because fear is such a powerful thing, and like, it scares people. And when people are scared, they're easier to control. Which is why if you look back through history, all the rebels and renegades and all the witches, they totally attacked them and burnt them at the stake and like all this other stuff. They didn't want people speaking up. I probably, I was probably a witch in another life.
We would have been burned at the stake for sure. Talking about any of this stuff.
Totally. We totally would.
Bonfire at our house, guys.
Yeah. So it's
the marshmallows.
You can't live in fear. You just have to live in your truth and love and just know
fear is low vibrational. When we were talking about vibrations last episode, if you're down in fear on that scale that I showed you, you're at such a low vibration, like, you need to move up. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Because, okay, if you're in low vibration, right, high vibration, and you're in low vibration, if something bad happens to you, then it's like, where do you go? There's nothing else. You're like, oh shit, this is the end of the world. Like, I'm done. This is it. I give up. And that's when suicide and all this stuff happens.
Yeah.
But if you're up in a higher vibration, it doesn't mean that something negative isn't going to happen to you. But what happens is if you're vibrating so high and something happens, it takes you down, but not down here to fear. Like, it's not as far down. So you can handle it and you can regroup and then you can go back up to where you were vibrating.
Exactly. So. And then you can have your tools.
Yeah.
Like your rose quartz. It's good. My little pyramid. To help you with those things, because like Ashton said, like, it's never going to be perfect all the time. You're going to have highs and lows. And what matters is that you're doing your best to, be in the highs so that when the lows happen, it doesn't like completely, like destroy your life. It's just like, oh God, this is shitty. And we'll get through it. It'll be fine. And we'll survive.
I think the other thing with that is when we talked about speaking our truth, like us sharing when we're going through shitty times, like for some reason as humans, like Facebook, right? It's an example. It's a highlight reel. You only see the good shit happening in people's lives. And we know that's bullshit. That is not the truth. That's what they want everybody to see, but we are not stupid. We know there's other stuff going on.
Yeah.
We need more open conversations, even about the bad stuff that's going on, because that's how we get our support system. That's how people aren't getting alone and depressed and, the suicide rate being so high. And it's because all these people are keeping all this stuff inside, this pain, instead of just talking and sharing with people, because we're so worried about, well, if I share this, then they're going to judge me, and then they're going to see I don't have my shit together. Another newsflash, none of us have our shit together.
No, we don't.
Always something. Nobody's perfect ever.
Yeah, that is so true. And social media can be really bad about that, because everything's like perfectly filtered and like my skin's perfect and hair and like I can do all these poses and like look at how I have my kids' room organized, when really it's just a shit mess all the time. Like you're doing your best to survive, and they're you're teaching your kids how to clean and learn and like all these things like real life. Sorry, okay, go ahead. Don't want to lose that thought again.
So what you were saying earlier, sorry guys, this is so scattered, I know. It just came to me when she said that. When you talked earlier about you speaking your truth, right? Being a marijuana advocate and all these things, and I think it was Rebecca that said about talking about things around her family, and she has kids too. So what you're doing, the more that you speak your truth, and you were talking about taking care of the earth and all these things, it's not just what you're doing for your kids' future, it's what you're instilling in your kids, their programming. You're showing them that's going to be their programming, that's going to be their norm. They see their mom doing it. That's normal. That's how the world changes. So yes, you're starting the ripple effect, but it's also your kids are taking all this knowledge on that you're teaching them. And I know Lucky teaches her kids that, like probably the other people on here, like you're literally teaching them how to change the world, and that will be their normal. They won't even know the way things aren't supposed to be, right? The negative way.
They're not going to deal with all the things we're dealing with, like all the, we have to deprogram and reprogram. It's like, let's kind of start them off a little different. Yeah. That's true.
That's why I'm here. I'm here to help people. Like I said, I'm not a parent, obviously. I'm here to help people reprogram themselves, because a lot of my clients are like middle-aged or a little bit younger. There's some older than that, but mostly middle-aged. A lot of moms, like I said, a couple of vets, but a lot of them, it's about going and reprogramming these programs they've picked up. And the goal with that is that these people I'm helping, a lot of them have kids, right? So by helping them rewire, reprogram, it's going to affect their kids. Like their kids are going to now have these programs we just talked about, the new ones, the good ones, right? Good, bad, such thing. The higher vibration, right? The way we want the world to be. And I think that's really where change happens.
Absolutely. Because, I mean, they're the next generation. You're
stopping the fear with your kids. Like, I'm sure your kids say whatever they need to say. Like, there's not fear holding them back of like, well, I want to say this, but I'm not going to, because they see you doing it. Even when your family might be like, don't talk about marijuana, you still talk about it, and your kids see that. So they're picking those things up from you too. Speak their truth.
Exactly. And I think one of the most important things is that my kids, and any kids really, see that their parents aren't perfect. Like, you know what? I screw up. Sometimes I yell. Sometimes I say bad words. But you know what? I'm sorry. I was angry. I was having angry feelings, and it wasn't okay for me to do that. And then they see me being vulnerable and it not being like this
taking
authority figure. I don't want to be I'm their mom. We have rules. I'm not going to let them like run into the street and, or, I'm not going to let my kids smoke marijuana when they're 10. Like, it's not, I'm a responsible parent, but I don't want to be an authoritarian parent. I don't want to scare my kids into stuff. We have open conversations about things. And that, I think, is really important, that they are allowed to have a voice and question things.
Yes. And I think that's the difference between telling your kids what to think and teaching them how to think. Because by having an open conversation, dialogue with your children, instead of just telling, well, this is how it is, and this is how it's going to be, and this is how it's always been. When you're asking questions and having the open dialogue with them, you're literally allowing their brain to start connecting these pathways and like figuring out the thought process of things. And you're teaching them how to think. Those are the people that are going to change the world, the thinkers, not the sheeple that just like do whatever they're told. They're going to be like, oh, Bob, we're doing this. Why are we doing this? Oh, that's how we've always done it. Well, why don't we do it this way? This might be better.
Let's change it up.
Just saying, okay, sir, like, and just doing it. Those are the world changers.
Yeah, we have a lot of talks about, it sounds really morbid, but it's not, but about death. Because at some point, something happened, and it's like, well, when I die, I'm going to go be in Zelda world and be Link, and of course with them, they're associated with video games, but it's
life
cool to me to have, so that they know, like, okay, this isn't the end. Because I remember as a kid, I got really scared. I'm like, okay, when I die,
nobody talks about death with me.
Like,
really,
you're dead. Like, it's scary. And so I'm like, I don't want them to be scared of it. So I'm like, okay, cool. You go be Sonic in your next life. And my middle kid, he talks a lot about, he's had a life on Saturn apparently. And so we'll talk about his life on Saturn. And it's just really cool to have these, conversations with little kids where they, they're not programmed to believe like, oh, that's wrong to talk about. It's just like, hey, that it might be like that. I don't know.
Yeah. It's a healthy conversation to have.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah. So I like that they're not like scared of dying or anything. So it's just, those are conversations with my kids.
Those are good. You have some good ones.
Yeah.
You got comments. Let me go back up.
Yeah.
Like you said, loving me some y'all tonight.
Loving me some y'all tonight. we love you too.
We love you guys tuning in. This is why we're doing this. Like, we literally want to create this space for people to have these conversations. And it means a lot to us that you guys interact and have these conversations with us, because we know some of you may not have that support system around you, but we want to be that for you. And like we just talked about earlier, you could share something with us that would pique our interest in change our perspective. Who knows? That's the whole point.
Got to speak
up. It's collective consciousness. So the more we learn from each other, it's the ripple effect. It just keeps going and going and vibrating higher and higher. And the more conversations we have, that's how it changes.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that'd be a good live too, to do the collective consciousness. How, you'll think one thing and then someone else does it, and just all these things happen.
And you're like, damn it, why didn't I act on that?
Yeah, but it's the collective conscious. We're,
that thought, you got to grab it or it's going to go to someone else.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's because it's out there.
Yeah. I was going to talk as far as going back to the crystals, a couple things. I was going to tell them certain crystals for each of the chakras if they want to know.
Oh, yeah. That's good.
And then I wrote down a couple of crystals for certain things, just so
cool.
FYI, if people wanted them.
Yeah.
Can we share those?
Share it. Yeah, totally.
Okay. So like I said earlier, each crystal correlates with certain chakras. Some of them work with more than one chakra. Mm-hmm. So we're going to talk about the 7 main. So you have your crown, your third eye, your throat. You can't see all these. Your heart, your solar plexus, your belly buttons, your sacral, and then down at the base of your spine is your root. So good crystals for the crown. I would say crystal quartz or amethyst. You can use both of those for that. Mm-hmm. Third eye, definitely amethyst is my favorite to use on the third eye. The throat, turquoise or sodalite, which I think I have a pink too. Most people know what turquoise is. So this is sodalite.
Okay. It's like a dark blue?
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's pretty.
That's sodalite. Heart, we talked about earlier, rose quartz or malachite. Mm-hmm. So this is what I have. I have a sphere rose quartz and a malachite. And let's see, heart, solar plexus, yellow citrine. I don't think I brought any of them with me. I can check my bag. I think there is one in here. Yeah, so yellow citrine.
Oh, I like citrine.
And then sacral carnelian, or carnelia, however you want to say it. This one is like orangish red. That one's good for your sacral.
Yeah.
And then the root, black tourmaline, onyx, any of the black ones really, or smoky quartz would be good. Those are all grounding. So those are for the 7 chakras. And then as far as crystals for certain things, I just try to think of ones that I have a lot of clients come in and stuff for. So anxiety is lepidolite. That was the bracelet you showed first with the lava rocks. That's lepidolite.
Lepidolite. Oh yeah, the purple.
I can never say it. That purple one. Yes, that one's perfect. If anybody has anxiety, get that stone. Grounding protection, we talked about black tourmaline, onyx. Those are some good ones.
Yeah.
EMF protection, we talked about shungite, another black stone.
I need to get some of that.
Yeah, abundance. So if you're looking for abundance, and it doesn't just have to be in money or whatever, it can be in love, life, whatever. Yellow citrine is a good one for that.
Okay, good. That was what I was guessing. I was like, citrine's good for that. So
yeah,
I know.
And then so self-love we talked about already, but rose quartz, and Peruvian Amazonite, and I don't have any of that here, but it's like a bluish color stone.
Okay.
Insomnia would be halite, so that white one I showed earlier. This one that looks like marble.
Yeah.
I know that one's
good
and that
was on the bracelet too, right?
Yeah, and that'll help you sleep also. So insomnia and anxiety, it's good for both of those. Divine feminine healing would be any of the jaspers. So this is just one that I have. Any of the jaspers. Maybe I don't have one. I have a red jasper. So any of the jaspers, but this one's red jasper.
Okay.
Those are good for divine feminine healing. Infertility, carnelia again, which is that orangish red one I showed you, and moonstone. Somebody talked about moonstone at the beginning. I think it was Jordan.
Yes, I think it was.
I don't have any white moonstone, but I have, so these are the ones I like to meditate with, but this is black moonstone.
Ooh, that's pretty.
Yeah, so moonstone's good for infertility. And then pain, the malachite, the green one. So those are just a lot that my clients come in with. I just try to think of a couple things that might help somebody else in here as far as actual specific things they might want to use the crystals for.
Yeah. That's good. You got so much knowledge.
Yeah.
Just helping people.
Yeah. And then what else was I going to share? So we talked about earlier about selenite is cleansing. We talked about sage, which I don't have any here because my dog's allergic. And then we talked about Palo Santo wood.
Oh, I love that stuff. I have sage. Oh yeah, I have sage here. Yeah.
It smells so good. Yeah, I might show them. So that's sage. Is that white sage?
Yes, it is white sage. Oh, it's on my computer.
And then I was going to share this one book with them real quick. It might be backwards. Is
Crystal
it backwards?
Muse? Yeah, it's backwards. Yeah.
Okay, so Crystal Muse. It's a good book. If you guys want to check it out, there's so much stuff in here. Tells you all about different crystals, different practices you can do, different rituals, different meditations, how to cleanse, how to do all sorts of stuff. This is a great book to get. It's about $30, I think, on it. I think you can get it on Amazon now.
Okay.
But it's called Crystal Muse.
Awesome.
So those are all the things about crystals. Is there anything else?
Oh gosh, I think we covered. We went away from crystals and back to crystals. Yeah. But now
I meant to say stuff earlier and forgot, but it's all good.
That's okay. We'll think of it for next time because we're here every Wednesday at 8:30.
Yeah, you guys are here every Wednesday, 8:30 Central Standard Time.
Yep.
And then, like I said, we on the different websites. Hers isn't up yet, but when she has it up, we'll let you know. But transcendwellnessok.com, you can go on there and rewatch all of the past episodes or the newest ones. Usually it'll be up the next day. So if you're missing it tonight, I'll have it up by Thursday. And then you can also go back in each of our videos, I think under our photos on our profile, and then go to videos, and it should have all of them.
Yeah, watch all the replays. So definitely.
And then we're always open to suggestions about things that you guys want to talk about. So we at the beginning, first episode, we had a ton of people send in stuff. We're always still looking for new topics that you guys want us to cover. So you can comment on here. You can send one of us a message or whatever, and we will be sure to cover them at some point. And we always kind of announce it the day of or the day before what we're going to talk about on Wednesday night. So anything else you want to add?
No, this was good.
Thank you guys.
Thoroughly enjoyed this.
We really appreciate it.
Yes. Thank you, Debbie.
Yeah. Thank you for tuning in. I like all the rainbow hearts. That's pretty cool.
I do that a lot too. I'm like, chakra love, all the love, all around.
All right. Well, that's all I got. So thank you guys for tuning in. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to seeing you guys next Wednesday.
All right. Well, have a good night. See ya.
You too. Bye.
Bye.